Okay, today I'd like to walk you through a few steps on Instagram using your smartphone. As we discussed in the introduction class, Instagram is best used on a smartphone or tablet. You can certainly use it to browse and to interact with other content on your desktop or laptop, but in order to post content and get the full effect of using Instagram, you'll want to do it from a smartphone. So I have the Instagram here next to my Twitter app. It's a free app directly from Instagram, so I'm going to open that up. And the first thing you'll see is your news feed. So I'm logged into my Friedman Seating account. And as I scroll through my news feed, these are photos and videos that are being shared by the accounts that I follow or any hashtags that I follow. So there is a way now, it's fairly new, that you can actually follow hashtags and stay on top of any content that's being shared in your industry or related to hashtags or keywords that you're interested in. At the very bottom, you'll see our icon. So I'm on the home page, which is my newsfeed. Next to that, I have a search icon. Here's where I can sort of just explore sort of what's trending on Instagram and what's popular at the moment. It is catered to the types of accounts that I follow as Friedman Seating. So I'll notice, some transportation, some manufacturing type posts here, as well as a mix of other things that are sort of just tied into these interests. At the very bottom, next to that, you have a plus. This is where you would go to post content. So we'll actually get back to that in a moment. Next to that, there's a heart icon. These are your notifications. So anything that's happening with your account, if someone follows you, someone comments on your photo, someone tags you, someone likes your photo, you'll see all of that happening here. And you can explore that and you can stay on top of all of the activity based around your account. Next to that, you see that 125 Friedman Seating logo. That's our Instagram profile. So you can see our profile image with a blue plus symbol there. You can upload a new profile photo in that section. If I click on edit profile, this is where you'll go to edit your name, your username. Remember, your username and your name are two different things here. Your username is unique to you. No one else on Instagram can have that username. It's also one word. There's no spaces. So we have Friedman Seating Co., all one word. Your website, a little biography of yourself or your business. And then if you have a professional page, meaning that your Instagram is attached to your Facebook business page, it'll show public business information with some contact information. So back on my profile, you'll also see promotions. Those are your advertisements. So if you have any running ads, you'll see those here. You can also create an ad from this section. You have some story highlights. So here you'll see Made in USA, team, seats, etc. These are stories that you may post on Instagram and then actually archive them on your profile. So remember, typically stories will disappear after 24 hours or so, but there is a way that you can store them on your profile, and I can show you that in a moment. So if I click on Made in USA, it'll show me some previous stories. So these are from, almost 2 years ago. Your stories will actually get saved here, and people can come here at any time and look through some of your older stories that you've categorized as made in USA or whatever category you want to give it. So these are categories that are relevant to our audience and to our type of business. So I use that as a way to also kind of show our team. So any previous stories related to, employees or our team members, we've got that all saved here as a nice little historical archive. So these are all of our posts recently. In this middle section here, you've got Instagram TV. So if you're thinking of posting a video that's more than 60 seconds, then you'll be given the option to post it on what's called Instagram TV. Instagram TV is just a long form way of sharing video. It also gets it's easy for people to explore and to come across your video through Instagram TV, because people might just be scrolling through videos based on the hashtags, based on keywords, based on interests. And so it's possible that more people will come across your video if it's being posted to Instagram TV. So we, rarely post videos that are longer than a minute, but when we do, it's for a special occasion. So we've got our Black History Month and our Women's History Month videos posted on Instagram TV because they're just about 3 minutes each. Next to that, you see that number 1 with a red circle. Those are any photos that you may be tagged in. So here we've got customers and employees and other people within our industry that might tag us in their own photos. And so I can click on those and I can see, that customers and other accounts have tagged us. And when that happens, you definitely want to interact. So I give it a heart. I might comment on it. Thanks for tagging us, or thanks for thinking of us. You want to make sure that you're engaging with the accounts that have taken the time to tag you. So that's your profile. So if I go back to the plus symbol at the very bottom in the middle, where I can post content, I have a photo ready to go. So, you can see some pictures of my kids and some business photos as well on my camera roll. But you can find the photo that you want to share on your device. Notice on the bottom left of my photo, I've got those 2 arrows that are pointing diagonally. If I click on that, if this photo, let's say it was a horizontal photo or even a vertical photo, by default, photos on Instagram will be square. But if that photo happens to be some other shape other than square, and I click on those arrows, it's going to conform the photo to the screen size. So if you're sharing a photo that's not square, make sure you pay attention to those arrows to see if you need to change the size or the display of that photo. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it square because that's the way it's intended to be shown. You can also share multiple photos by clicking on that bottom right icon right here. Now that's highlighted in blue, so I can add multiple photos if I wanted to. You can add up to 10 photos at a time. So if I've got my photo or my video that I'm ready to share, I'm going to click on next. You can give it a filter if you'd like. Be careful, you don't want to over filter your photos. This is actually a photo that a passenger shared of a ferry boat in New York that has our seats. So I came across this photo on Instagram by doing a search for New York ferry or hashtag NYC ferry. That's a hashtag that we follow because we noticed that passengers on those boats are constantly sharing photos. So I saw this photo and I thought, this might be something neat to reshare. So you'll notice that at the bottom left, it actually shows the person's account who originally shared this photo. I was able to do that with an app called Reshare. I can share a link to that app on our Facebook group. But what it does is it'll sort of give credit to the original poster, and that's something that I like to do. So I'm not going to change any of the filters. You can see that you can make things, black and white, give it some other types of tones. I'm going to leave it as original because that's the way that the passenger shared the photo originally. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And I've got a lot of options here. I can tag people. So I might be, may want to tag the person who originally posted this. I can tag a business partner. That's if you were looking to tag another business or another professional account, you can tag that account, and that gives them some additional options in terms of maybe they want to promote that photo, maybe they want to reshare it. It gives them sort of a different access to your photo. So that's something that you should discuss with that business partner and how that relationship works. You can give it a location. If you've got multiple Instagram accounts from one device, you'll have the option of sharing it on multiple pages. In this case, I'm only going to be sharing it to one. And at the very bottom, you'll also see, because I've got it tied to Facebook, I can simultaneously post it to our Facebook page, our Twitter, or our Tumblr. For now, I'm only going to post it on our Instagram account. So first, let me give it a location. So I'm just going to give it a location of New York. And I'm going to give it a caption. Now, I actually copied the caption from the person who originally posted it, so I'm just going to play around with some of these words here. But what I want to do is I want to give credit to the person who originally posted it. So I use a hashtag repost, and just lets people know that this has been reposted and this is the username of the original poster. So I'm going to have that at the end of my caption. It's just something that I like to do. The caption itself might read something like, passengers on hashtag NYC ferry are sharing their social distancing experience. Maybe a little icon of a ferry boat and a seat. So passengers on NYC ferry are sharing their social distancing experience. If I hit OK, I've got my caption ready to go. I can give it some additional hashtags that are related to my business. So I can, ferry boat, New York, made in USA, passenger seating. Notice when I type in a hashtag, it actually shows me how popular that hashtag is. So passenger seating has been used fewer than 100 times. So it's not a very known hashtag, but something like made in USA, it has 4.4 million posts. So you may want to use that to gauge the hashtags that you're using. It's fine to use hashtags that haven't been used very much, especially if you're creating your own hashtag. So, Friedman seats could be a hashtag that we use, or Friedman seating could be a hashtag that we use. You'll see 258 posts. Okay. And once I've got those selected, I can go ahead and hit share. Now, I've got a couple other things to add to this post. For example, we work with a ship builder, a boat builder, to actually build these boats. I'm going to want to give them credit, or at least tag them in this photo. So first I need to go and look up what their Instagram account is. I don't want to leave anyone out. I want to involve as many accounts as I can. The more people that I'm tagging and that I'm mentioning in my post, that's more eyes that my post is going to receive. So if I tag or mention the New York City ferry or the boat builder, they're likely going to engage with this post. They may even reshare it. And again, it's getting more traction to my post. So you want to include as much information as you can with your posts. If I hit back and hit back again, I have the option to either discard this post or I can save it as a draft. So I'm going to save it as a draft so that I can come back to it later. In order to come back to it, when I go to hit that plus sign at the bottom, I'll see it here under drafts. So here you can see it. So back on my homepage, again, you certainly want to spend some time looking through your newsfeed, engaging with some of these posts, right? Hitting that heart or maybe commenting on something. On the very top, you'll see accounts with sort of a multicolor effect circled around their photo. So you can see Karen, Andy Sunflower, Go Caltrain, NJ Transit. Those are stories that are taking place. So I can scroll to the right and I can see all of these accounts that have posted stories. And I can watch those stories. So basically these are just kind of quick, 5-second or so photos and videos that are being shared. Sometimes I'll see advertisements pop in between. And it's a quick way, it's a different way to get some content across to your audience. People tend to watch these just sort of back to back. People will spend time just kind of watching these. It'll go on to the next one and the next one and the next one, and you can kind of scroll through a whole bunch at a time. I can post my own photos by clicking on that top left, either the top left camera or where it shows my logo and it says your story. So if I click on my story, I can, this is my camera. Here's my little workspace for tonight. I can click on the bottom left to go to my camera roll, and I can find that photo, and maybe this is something I want to share in my story. And when I've got a photo or a video on my screen here, I can give it some effects. So at the very top, you've got those different effects. Like I can give it some different hashtags and different emojis and all of these kind of fun stickers you can add to your post. You can even do a search. So if I wanted to search, boats, I can have these emojis appear. There might even be some GIFs or some moving emojis that might be fun to use. Right, and I can make these big and small using my fingertips. And I can mention, NYC Ferry. I can give it some text. All aboard. I can give it some effects. So you can play around with this. You can draw on it. All right. Let me undo that. So this is sort of something fun to just play around with. At the bottom left now, it shows your stories, and it shows my logo and the Facebook icon. If I click on that section, it's going to automatically blast this to my story. So anyone that's following me on Instagram and Facebook, this will appear on my story. I can also click on send to on the bottom right, and I can pick and choose who I want to actually send this to. So if I only want to send this to select users who follow me, I can do that. But typically I'm just sending it across my entire story. So I'm going to click share next to your story, and it's done. So I hit done. Now my logo on the top left has a multicolor circle. If I click back on my story, I can watch my story. If you put your finger on top of the screen, it stops that story. Otherwise, it's going to go to the next one. Let me go back to it. Notice on the bottom right, you've got the Facebook icon, and then next to that, it shows highlight. If I click on highlight, I'm able to include it on those highlight archives that appear on my profile. So Made in USA, team, seats, and our history. So this one, if I wanted to add to one of my highlights, I can click on one of them. So let's just call it seats. And now it's added to my profile, and it'll always be there as part of that highlight for people to see. So those are your stories. I encourage you to play around with stories. It's a fun, different way to share content. Businesses are using that to share content on a regular basis. Maybe you are sharing a static post. We call it static posts. Every couple of days. But maybe you're able to share something on your stories every day or multiple times a day. Maybe you use stories to give that behind the scenes glimpse into your business, or exclusive content, or a way to build up a promotion or excitement for a promotion. So I also encourage you to watch these stories that are coming out from other businesses and accounts within your industry to see how they're using it. So those are some of the neat features with using Instagram on your smartphone. One last thing I want to show you are our insights. So if you click on any one of your photos, so in this case we were donating some masks to CTA and Pace. I can click on View Insights underneath the photo, and I can see how many people have I reached and any actions that have taken place as a result of that post. So in this case, it reached 207 people. One person clicked on our profile. And that's about it. If it was a promoted post, I would also see those advertisement results as well. Again, view insights, so you can take a look at how your paid or organic posts are doing. And that's Instagram for smartphone.